Today, we'll introduce you to an industry I work in, infrared. By show of hands, how many of you know someone who has worked in the infrared industry in Santa Barbara? Besides me, sorry. I wager that you probably all know someone, you just don't realize it. I've been working at FLIR's manufacturing facility in Goleta for 7 years now, and my fascination with the technology drives me to learn more every day. Seriously, I would love to drone on about the countless facets of the high-tech products we make, but today is for another topic. Let me start my PowerPoint. Right. Cool, I think we're good. Did you know the Santa Barbara region is the world's epicenter for infrared camera research, development, and production? After today's talk, I hope you walk away with an appreciation and pride in Santa Barbara's status as the center of excellence for infrared. This photo was taken by a colleague, Dr. Austin Richards. The mission stands tall in front of our beautiful coastal range. Of all the places infrared could have chosen for its home, I'm glad it chose here, ended up here. I'd like to give a brief overview of the basic science before diving into the history. I actually remember the lesson in college when my thermodynamics professor explained Planck's law of blackbody radiation, like it was yesterday. He explained all objects emit radiation in a spectrum of frequencies. For lower temperature objects like human beings, the emission is relatively low and peaks in the 10 micron range. For higher temperature objects like our sun, the emission is much higher and the peak shifts to 0.6 microns. This statement by my teacher stood out to me. This physical law is evidence of evolution or intelligent design. The creatures of Earth have adapted to this peak in emission to take advantage of the full radiant power of our sun. Human beings see visible light, plants are green, all due to our sun's temperature. I found that quite profound. It's worth pointing out that the regions of interest for terrestrial infrared cameras are split into two portions of the spectrum, separated by a region blocked by the atmosphere. For sensing lower temperature objects like human beings, we use the 8 to 12 micron window. For higher temperature objects like municipal exhaust plumes, you would use the 3 to 5 micron window. By tuning your camera system in this way, you get the most signal into your detector. This slide and several others were taken from a panel discussion on this subject. Dr. Riley claims that the 101 Coastal Corridor has been involved in all key infrared technologies. UCSB, a school known for industry partnership, has been involved since the very beginning as well. Leading this innovation are companies like Raytheon Vision Systems, FLIR, Lockheed Martin, formerly Santa Barbara Focal Plane, Teledyne Imaging Systems down in Camarillo, Hughes Research Laboratory, Autolead, Seek Thermal, and I can't see the last one, sorry, and Santa Barbara Infrared. These companies provide over 2,000 jobs to the area. Dr. Riley estimates that the corridor is responsible for $1 billion in annual revenue. All of the market leaders have established their niche. Raytheon dominates military space with products like targeting pods, missile warning systems, and surveillance. FLIR also sells these military products, but as commercial off-the-shelf items to military prime contractors like Northrop Grumman. Additionally, as infrared technology has come down in price, companies like FLIR are driving into new markets. We provide sensors to Autolead, who has been integrating them into expensive Beamers and other luxury vehicles for over a decade to aid in pedestrian detection at night or other low visibility conditions. FLIR is pushing hard into self-driving cars, expecting the need for thermal in the sensor suite, specifically for pedestrian and animal detection. Elevated skin temperature cameras for detecting fevers are being produced to curb the COVID-19 pandemic and allow us to get back to business. The applications for commercial infrared cameras are broad, and we expect to see continuous growth as the technology further matures. The story of how the Santa Barbara region came to market dominance can be traced back to SBRC. In the 50s, the small research center was working on single pixel missile trackers. As you can imagine, a single pixel of data is pretty worthless. So they would actually raster it, sort of like a CRT television, to form a two-dimensional image. Let's pause for a second and appreciate this. This is no film camera. This is more akin to the digital cameras of today. And seminal work was done right here in Santa Barbara in the 50s. The company grew and created its first permanent campus in the 60s, now inhabited by Raytheon. By the 80s, SBRC was the world leader in detector technologies, and by the 90s, they were producing 250,000 pixel arrays. It's worth pointing out that today, both FLIR and Lockheed Martin are literally right next door. I do supplier quality, and when suppliers visit us, they always truthfully joke they'll be across the street after lunch. I don't have time to go over the technology disruption shown on this slide, but the graphic shows the cost of infrared exponentially decreasing over time, enabling products to reach new markets. FLIR also makes one of these cell phone attachments. And my favorite party trick, let's see if I can get this right, is, oh, my hands are very cold right now, is to show the thermal handprint. But it's not really working because my hands are so cold. I've been actually told I'm like 1 in a million for cold hands, or 1 in 100 from other thermographers. The more recent history of infrared in the region is dominated by one brilliant man, Dr. Bill Parrish. After Bill graduated from UCSB, his first job was at SBRC in the 70s. A colleague of mine, Dr. Bob Kanata, worked with Bill in those days. He told me Bill was way above what was going on there. So Bill left and started Amber Engineering in the 80s. SBRC would merge with Delco and GM around that time. Later, the infrared business would be acquired by Raytheon. Bill would sell Amber to Raytheon as well, founding another startup, Indigo Systems in the 90s, which would later be purchased by FLIR. Soon after, Bill created yet another startup, Seek Thermal, in close partnership with Raytheon as a competitor to FLIR in the commercial space. The incestuous nature of this story is common across other industries as well, like the tech companies of Silicon Valley. Commingling of like companies occurs for many reasons, and in general, it benefits everyone. The companies get a large, diverse knowledge base to pull from, the employees get options, the consumer gets innovation, and the region prospers. Santa Barbara's influence on the technology and the technology's influence on Santa Barbara are an example of this symbiotic relationship. There is no doubt the region has been in part shaped by the technology, and with the industry expected to grow further, time will tell what the future holds. I'll leave you with several artistic photos, again taken by Austin Richards. I hope this speech, like these photographs, will help you see the city we love in a different light. That concludes my speech. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, David. And I will stop recording.